All right, let's get it going right here, right now. This is an Eyes Up Here YouTube Extra. If you didn't know by now, my name is Chad, and every single week when we go throw you a YouTube Extra, I'm joined here by the Queen of Extreme, Francine. Queen of Extreme, it is time to jump in the DeLorean and go back to a favorite time of yours, and it is talking about your place, ECW. Before we do that, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Hopefully you are too. I'm looking at different things here for the topic that we're doing, and different dates are coming up. I know we said one date, but now another date is coming up.
Oh boy.
So when is this? Before we start this, one says the 27th, one says the 30th.
It's the 27th.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I think there's an air date and a happening date.
It says August 30th, 1994 is the night of the ECW Revolution beginning. Oh, okay. So maybe this was when they aired it on television? Bingo. Okay.
Ran into this once before, and
Did
that
you?
was, yes. So
Okay.
the first time I ever interviewed the subject of this monumental occasion had the same question come up because of the two dates. So that's how I know the difference.
Okay, well, good. I just got very confused when I pulled it up. I said, oh, no. I don't want people in the comments saying you don't even know what you're talking about.
Whoa, they don't even know the date.
It happens. Okay, August 27th, 1994 was a date that Shane didn't even remember because he was asking everyone when he threw the belt down. Hey, do you know when I threw that belt down? I was like, no, I don't remember. But yeah, we're here to talk about the NWA title being thrown down in the middle of the ring. And that's the night that he cut that awesome promo and declared it the ECW Heavyweight Championship. And the anniversary is today. And, I thought maybe we should do a little tribute to Shane, do a little video, because who knows if this didn't all go down, if this mastermind plan didn't happen, like how, think about it. Well, what would have happened instead? How would they have, because for those of you who don't know, this was a very hush-hush, secretive situation going on the night that this happened. Dennis Carluzzo, who I don't think I ever met. Everybody always says, did you ever meet Carluzzo? I think I did. Do you know Dennis? Or did you know Dennis?
I used to go to his shows all the time.
Okay.
So I remember shaking his hand at shows as a fan because, he would be walking around like crazy and, you knew it was his show. But I never knew him outside that because then, he passed away before I started going to shows, trying to get work on shows. So,
yeah. So apparently Dennis, was at ringside for all of this. And I guess, they're thinking that this is going to be huge for the NWA and for Dennis and for the organization. And, I think it was between Shane. Who else was in on it? Todd? Gordon?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if there was anybody else.
Paul Heyman.
And that's it.
And that was it. Yep.
That's
the
pretty
three
much
of them.
it. Which is crazy. And we have the footage. We're going to watch the promo, which was a very well thought out promo. And I don't know if he did that off the fly. I can't remember if he told me he was just making it up as he went along. But he does reach out to his dad who had just, who passed away, and very touching. But, it's the anniversary, and it's been 30 years.
30 years.
Since that
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's one of those moments that defines an era, right? And he kind of he stood out so much at the time in that, when you heard about ECW in those early days, he stood out so much because he was one of those names that you knew from outside of just that Philadelphia area. You knew him, right? But you didn't know him like this and the way we got to know him. But that promo, I do believe he did go off the top of his head because he wasn't sure of what he was going to do. He was still on the fence, but Corluzzo was really trying to get him to sign a deal with the NWA. He wanted him to, he was sticking a contract in his face going, "You're coming with us. You're staying here." And he didn't want to do it. And that promo, I believe people were throwing the names out at him while he was talking. So, typical franchise fashion, he's off the cuff. He's just doing it the way he feels.
Yeah, I'm looking at Reddit right now, and this was a topic on a Reddit board. So just reading what the fans are saying about it, and just a lot of different opinions about this. Because there was some kind of partnership at this time between Dennis and, I guess it was Todd initially.
Correct.
Because, Paul came in. Well, Todd was there already, and I don't know if it was supposed to be like in Dennis's mind, if it was supposed to be this joint thing where they were going to feed off of each other, and was it supposed to be the NWA? Was it still going to be Eastern Championship Wrestling? I don't know what was going through Dennis's mind, but when they show Dennis, the facial, he has no clue what's going on, and he was blindsided, and
right.
It's trickery, and it's sad. I kind of feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Again, I didn't know him as a person, as a promoter. I don't know anything about the guy, but something like this, could you imagine if you were sitting in Dennis's spot, if this was your deal, and you're just thinking, man, I'm joining forces with Paul Heyman's here now. This is going to be something good. I'm really excited to do this. And then they drop that bomb, and it's like, oh my God, are they pushing me out? What could have been going through his mind when all of this, because I don't even know the aftermath. Do you know the story about what happened afterwards?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of chaos, and they had to get that belt, and they had to figure out what they were going to do.
Hold that thought. Let's watch Shane's promo, and because this is all I know. I've seen this so many times, and actually, people have printed this up on 8x10s and T-shirts, and Shane has signed copies of these things forever. People always talk about this promo. So for those of you who haven't seen it, we're going to watch it right now, and then we'll talk a little bit about what he said, and then you could tell us the story about the aftermath, because I don't know if I was there that night for this. I know I was with the company, but I don't know if I was at that show. I can't remember. It's a really long time ago. So, but let's watch the promo.
All right, so we're picking it up just after he beats Too Cold Scorpio.
Okay.
NWA title tournament.
Hey, no question about it. Too Cold Scorpio, you are one hell of a competitor, and I will not be a champion that hides. I stand here before God and my Father in heaven tonight, as I said I would be world heavyweight champion. In the tradition of Lou Death, in the tradition of Jack Briscoe, of the Briscoe brothers, of Dory Funk Jr., of Terry Funk, the man who'll never die. As the real nature boy, Buddy Rogers, upstairs tonight. From the Harley races to the Barry Windham to the Ric Flairs. I accept this heavyweight title. Wait a second.
Love
Wait
this.
a second. I'm Kerry Von Erich. I'm the fat man himself, Dusty Rhodes. This is it tonight, Dad. God, that's beautiful. And Rick Steamboat. And they can all kiss my ass.
What in the hell is he doing?
Because I am not the man who accepts the torch to be handed down to me from an organization that died, R.I.P., 7 years ago. The franchise, Shane Douglas, is the man who ignites the new flame of the sport of professional wrestling.
That's the ECW belt.
Before God and my Father is witness, I declare myself, the franchise, as the new ECW heavyweight champion of the world.
Beautiful. How about that?
Shane Douglas declaring himself
We have set out to
ECW
change
World
the face
Champion.
of professional wrestling. So tonight, let the new era begin. The era of the sport of professional wrestling. The era of the franchise. The era of the ECW.
How about that?
Now, did you cut it? Do they pan to Dennis?
Well, we'll do a little Panaroonie. Here we go. Let's see.
Put it back up.
I got Pan. Let's see. There's Hat Guy. The franchise.
Fine
Shane
guy,
Douglas.
hat guy.
Let's see. What's the sign say?
Franchise Shane Douglas, something.
Ambition. Oh, now Scorpio is going to say something. I'm sure a couple of curse words in there.
Well, that's okay. Just I could have
Yeah.
swore they shown.
It's right
There
here.
he is.
Yeah, they go to him for some comments.
Card,
What
what
do you
happened tonight was a disgrace. I'm disappointed at it. Shane Douglas is the NWA champion. He threw the belt down. He had no right to do that. Remember one thing, ECW is an NWA member and they're under our jurisdiction. I'm going to leave right now, have a conference call, and all I can say is Shane Douglas is the world champion, NWA world champion, whether he likes it or not, and we're also going to have this problem taken care of with this ECW championship. We're going to talk about the possibility of having both belts stripped from him because he doesn't deserve to be the NWA world champion.
When do you expect to get this resolved?
Hopefully tonight. Thank you.
So was Shane? Look how handsome Joey Styles is. Was Shane under contract with NWA?
So they wanted him under contract.
Right,
He
but
was,
he
under
was
whatever
doing-
deal he was with Paul.
He was on a handshake agreement then? Like, did he work-
whatever Paul Heyman deal he had, they were an NWA affiliate. So whatever this NWA title tournament deal was going to be, I guess Carluzzo assumed, well, I'm just going to sign him to a deal because he's going to be my world champion now. So he's going to be mine.
Right. So, okay. So they were running separate from ECW at the time. Was
Correct.
Shane working shows under Dennis?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No,
So
I
there
don't
was
believe
no
so.
alliance outside of ECW. This was
Outside of there
this
just
was
being
like, I'm
under the
gonna-
one umbrella.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my belt to your show, and we're gonna put it over and crown a champion for my promotion.
Right.
And then I guess what Dennis might have been thinking was sharing talent at this point,
Right.
doing like talent exchanges and whatnot. But here he was totally blindsided.
Blindsided. Absolutely.
And they had the nerve to go interview him afterwards.
Oh yeah, no, that's great.
Me, I mean, come on.
That
Ah,
is- oh man, and Coraluzzo with that thick South Jersey accent. Woo!
people say
Man.
my accent is bad, right?
Man, you two could have a great conversation.
When did he pass away?
I want to say it. I want to say like 2005, 2006.
Oh, so it's been a
But
while.
I could be a little bit off on that.
Okay.
Let me see. He passed away 2001. Wow.
2001.
Yeah, earlier than I thought.
Oh, my ring light just fell.
Oh my goodness. Well, I can still see you. You're a little
Yeah,
darker,
that's fine.
just like
That's fine.
earlier today. Yeah, he
Whoa.
passed away July 30th, 2001.
Okay. Of a broken heart because the belt was
yeah.
dropped in the ring.
Yeah, well, I mean, oh Jesus, bleeding on the brain.
Oh God, that's sad.
Ouch.
Yeah, not
Horrible.
making fun of that at all.
No, that's horrible. Goodness
you.
gracious.
Yeah, very, very bad.
But so caught off guard. Shane did not work for the NWA. He was not working for Coraluzzo, and he did not like the way Coraluzzo was going about the process of thinking he was going to sign him to a deal, and nobody backs franchise into the corner. So, he made a decision. He was not on board with throwing the belt down and going the way he did. That was an impulse decision. He was still on the fence until he was right there, smack dab in the middle of the ring. And I mean, that is something that, could that have just carried with him for the last 30 years? That this guy he started a revolution right there. He's unpredictable. But that is a hell of a promo off the top of his head. If that's
it totally was. So I'm thinking in 1994, was he there on a handshake with Paul? Because I know for me, I wasn't offered an official contract till like I think it was 95, maybe 96. Because in the beginning, it was just like, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars for however many shows we have, and you're going to come in. Okay, thanks. Shake my hand. Boom.
Yeah.
There it is. Now, if Shane was under any type of contract, why would Dennis Coraluzzo think that he could just snatch him away and put him just strictly under the NWA umbrella? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It had to have been like a handshake deal with Paul.
Right.
A gentleman's deal, if you will, because if he thought that, there's no way you can just snatch somebody if they're contractually obligated to be with one company. So that's very interesting. A great promo, very heartfelt promo. Some people have said, he shouldn't have did it. It was dishonest. While the majority said it was the coolest thing that they've ever seen happen. I just feel like it was a blindsiding, like if you put yourself in Dennis's shoes, like that's like, what the hell is going on? He wasn't invited to the meeting that day, so he wasn't aware of what was going on, but it changed the business entirely. It changed DCW, that's for sure. 100%.
It's one of those things. If, where would ECW have been 2 years later? When you guys were rocking and rolling, maybe if it wasn't for that promo, you think you might be in the same spot, or you think you still might be an NWA affiliate had there not been that huge, just monumental shift? Because to me, that sets the tone for the attitude that you all had as a promotion. You know what I mean? It took away. We watched the debut episode. There was no attitude on that show. That was a cut and paste. pro wrestling independent show of the 1990s.
Yeah.
This to me reeks of the setting the pace and setting the tone for what we would then see until February 2001 or January 2001. This promo right here is you guys, but then take this away and let's say, let's fast forward to July 1996 and you're throwing powder in somebody's eyes. Maybe it's not in the same vein. Who knows? It's this could have changed. Mandela effect. It could have changed everything.
This told the fans, you never know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? This just, if you're sitting in that audience thinking this is just going to be another one of these, these shows, we're going to see some wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Nobody ever expected something like this to happen. So this set the tone for, actually changing it over from Eastern to Extreme, because, stuff like this. No, there were always those guys in the front. We saw you mentioned the hat guy and that sign guy. I don't know who stooged off what, but that sign guy always had signs to each angle that was going to happen that night. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't know how he found out. I don't know if somebody leaked it to him. It wasn't me. I'll tell you that right now. But he always knew. He always knew. So, Mick Foley's leaving for WCW. Here goes the sign. I'm doing this. Here goes the sign. Like, he knew in advance. Did he have any inkling? Were there that sign that you were trying to read? Did that allude to anything about the belt? Because this was the one night that I think he was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was going to happen, or nobody told me this was going to happen. Like, I'm just trying to think, how secretive was this?
Yeah, it says ambition provides or something. It's something about ambition. So, I mean, hey, that was a quite ambitious move,
I mean, I'm just, every show he would have a sign and it would be right on the money. That son of a bitch knew exactly what we were doing.
It says the franchise Shane Douglas, ambition provides the ability.
Okay, so really that doesn't.
No, it's just a cool little catchphrase, okay. Maybe that Shane could have adapted.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every single time he knew exactly what was happening. We're like, who is stooging this off to this guy? Who does he know? It's probably Paul.
Like having a stop sign, conveniently ready for somebody to use, right?
Or a prosthetic leg.
Or a prosthetic leg.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, this totally changed the whole dynamic of the company. Made it more edgy, made it in your face, made it you never know what could happen at an ECW show. And I feel like, I don't know if it stayed the way it was and it was a talent exchange, and then we would have had to listen to both Paul and Dennis. And I think, two cooks in the kitchen, I think that could have blown up and been a disaster later down the line. I think at one point they would have tried to get him out anyway. So it was just sooner than later, but it worked out for the best. And what a night.
A night that'll live in infamy. Now tell me, and you'll give a great description to the listeners, what does an August night in the ECW arena feel like?
It feels like you're in the hottest part of the desert. You're dripping sweat. It's probably about 145 degrees. No air conditioning back then. Filth everywhere. Hepatitis B all over the mat. It was so hot that when I did a run-in, I literally jumped on Gary's back and slid right off him from between the baby oil and the sweat. It was absolutely disgusting. And again, we didn't have hair or makeup people to help us. We did it all on our own. So even if you tried to put a curl in your hair, it was just 5 seconds later, it was gone. It's like, why even try? Ungodly hot. The conditions were so, I mean, if it just felt like you were out in like under the desert sun, between the lights and it having no air conditioning and all the people just hovering over that ring. Ugh, nasty.
Probably smelled great.
And I wouldn't change for the world because it was the best place to ever work.
That's awesome.
But it was nasty.
Now there you go. We will leave it at that with that wonderful memory. So all right. Well, before we get out of here, where would you like to send the fine folks?
I'd like to send them over to iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple, or wherever you get your podcast, and tune into Eyes Up Here with Francine. It's a great podcast, and we need you to follow us over there or subscribe on the other platforms, and just clicking one of our episodes shows your support for me, and I really appreciate it. So if you could do so, that would make me very happy. And if you're not a subscriber on here, what you're watching right now, look below and you'll see a little button that says subscribe, and it's absolutely free. Go ahead and click that and ring my bell so you get the notifications. And that's it. They're all free. I'm not asking for much. Really not.
We're not asking for your first child.
No.
We're just asking for you to ring the bell. So when the video comes in, you go, oh, look, a new video. Let me watch it, because with all our great subscribers, I don't want to be the last one to check it out. I want to be the first one to check it out.
Yes. And like and comment. Your comments help the algorithm. So, whatever you can do, help your girl. We appreciate it. And we thank you and we love you.
That's right. Well, no better way to end it than saying how much we love you. So we will catch you next time here on a YouTube Extra for the Queen of Extreme. This is the Chadster. We will catch you on. Should I throw the microphone down before we do this?
No, you'll break it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll break it. We'll catch you on the flip side.